Game number one of a, what the heck is this? Are we in the right tournament, Gia? Crystal Beast, round one of the Meta Weekly versus Mikanko. Are you ready? Begin. Mikanko's also about to get better. It still has some unreleased support. At the site of Pot of P, Mikanko is out of here. No, thank you. We're gone. Does that duel count? Maybe it does. We'll find out for game number two. Game number two. Now, Mikanko, mostly a lot of players, they prefer to go second with their build. And we're going to set Super Poly Pass, one of the best plays, most disruptive plays that Crystal Beast is capable of doing. We have Diviner taking up a normal summon, sending an Entis to pop that back row Super Poly. Unfortunately, we did not set two. On the interrupted Kaiju, popping at least one monster in the field, then gives both fields a Kaiju. Oh boy. Now, all we have to do is swing into that Kaiju and we win with our Mikanko cards. We have the Ceremony, which is going to be banishing itself to send from the deck to the grave a Mikanko Dance. What had it here? We added Ceremony, then discarded Ceremony instead of special summoning Ohime. I think maybe we meant to activate the Ceremony, so we accidentally discarded it. I think this is a mistake. This is a oops. We oopsed. That was an oops. That was not on purpose. And now we have Necro Valley preventing the manipulation of any cards in the graveyard. Can't banish, can't summon, can't add. And we still get to search with Ohime here. And hopefully, okay, we're going to grab the Hugh Lee, discard the Ultimate Slayer since there's no monster on the field to deal with. But we have nothing to equip onto the Hugh Lee. And with the Ceremony, we can't banish it to send another equip card from the deck to the grave to then use the Ohime to equip it onto something. So what do? I think we're going to have to speed this up, I think, because we're kind of in a lock. We're going to Fire Dance, Special Summon the Hugh Lee. Now, all of our Mikanko cards are untargetable, but we're at 0 attacks. We cannot attack directly. We got the Mikanko Rivalry, which could negate a monster in the field or take control of it. So what does Mikanko do if we can't attack in? Well, you're going to have to use the Double-Edged Sword. So if you have a way to search that, that would be our play. We're going to use Rivalry, equipping the Water. The Water equip card is going to special summon for the deck of Ha-Re. Ha-Re is then going to be activating the search, but we passed on that. Okay. And now we're special summoning our Ohime. Ohime is here through our Ritual spell. Based on the number of equip cards in the graveyard, we could pop that many cards on the field, wiping out the field spell and the back row. Hugh Lee is here. Get equipping onto the Hugh Lee. Now our whole field is untargetable, but still at 0 attack. Off the top of the deck, our third Super Poly, which we're then realizing, hold up, it's not activatable. They have a light, they have a fire, they have a wind. We can't fuse with any of that. Ain't no way. Our only hope was the Super Poly play, and it's been useless the whole time. Now we got the Borg Blocker, which is going to be able to discard a card from the hand if we want to, which we are choosing to not do, because we don't need a card in the grave. We have the Mikanko Dance, which could reborn a Mikanko from the grave. It's essentially just going to be 1,000 damage in the field. This is really this is a duel. This is a duel. I have no idea what the heck is going on here. We are going to, on the attack, special summon the Crystal Beast, Rainbow from the hand, 3,000 attack, reflecting that 300 damage. Now, you did just trigger our Mikanko Dance after battling with the Mikanko. We could spin a card on the field back to the hand. So, yeah, now you took 300 for nothing. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. We got the Kurikari, and you got a monster on the field, so we got the Kaiju. Just like that, we're now going to reflect the battle damage. We're going to imperm onto the Mikanko, but it's untargetable, so we're only able to imperm the Borg Code Blocker. You are not able to negate. We do reflect battle damage, and just like that, let's take this very interesting duel into game 3. Actually, that's the conclusion of the whole match. I guess game 1, we really didn't, it disappeared. Okay, we're going to move on to something else. I made a video on Libromancer, and I completely forgot what the deck do. So we are revealing a ritual to special summon ourselves on the field, and then on special summon, add a Libromancer from the deck to our hand. We are also playing Mikanko Libromancer. Nice. The Ceremony is going to special summon our Ohime. We're now activating Maxi. We played around Gamma, where we wanted to make sure a monster was on the field before we activate our Maxi. That's why we didn't do it onto the Libromancer Fire. Now, with the Ceremony in the graveyard, we could send a Mikanko card from the deck to the grave. That is going to be our Mikanko Water. Mikanko Water will summon a Mikanko from the deck, returning the monster equipped onto it back to the hand. We got Hugh Lee activating when equipped to search for the Rivalry, which will be able to negate a monster or take control of it, and our whole field of Mikanko cards are untargetable. Now, what the heck is this card? When your opponent activates a card or effect, target a Libromancer ritual you control, and we don't have that, so we don't care. Okay. We are starting off with the Samurai Motor Bike, our only disruption being the Rivalry Plus. We are quite protected with the Hugh Lee. We are using the Rivalry to equip onto the Hugh Lee in response to the activation of the Super Heavy Samurai Wakashi. Is this gonna be the thing, the Angelica ring that's gonna negate the thing? Is that what it does? But that doesn't work. Unless it's used on the activation of the effect. So this is being placed in the hand here, and we activated this, right? So we did do it in response to the activation. You activate to place a Super Heavy Samurai Benki from the deck into the other zone, and since we did it in response to the activation of the effect, so first we activated it from the hand, which is when you do not want to chain activate the Angelic Ring. And then, in response to the activation of the effect, we then play the Angelic Ring, and on resolution, it is negated. So very well done, negating the effect, not the activation. That's how you do it. Perfect. So that's another disruption we have with the Rivalry. Not only negate a monster, we can negate a spell, or take control of the monster. Now, surprise, we are not Super Heavy Samurai, we are Constellar. Huh? Sheraton is adding a Constellar from the deck to the hand. Lirin on summon is searching for a Tellarknight Genesis. What did this just do? Destroy spell and trap cards on the field equal to the number of Tellarknights you control. Okay, pop a 2 back row. We have Caduceus. You are going to be searching your deck for a Constellar Tellarknights, which could summon a Tellarknight from the hand or grave. We have the Caduceus Xyz now, which is going to recycle the Tellarknight Genesis in the graveyard back to our hand. Now, Caduceus will banish a Tellarknight to copy its effect, and we're sending an Alteran from the deck to the grave. We are going to, on the attack, activate to, by battling a light or dark monster before damage calculation, banish that monster. An interesting effect you never see it be used. Okay, Ohime is now gone. Very well done on that. We're going to then main phase 2 Constellar Tellarknights, reborning a Tellarknight from the hand or graveyard. As we then further link this up into an M7, we're going to target the M7 to then turn it into a Deltaros. Deltaros activates multiple times when sent to the graveyard. So what we're going to want to do is get it into the grave. Get into the grave by link summoning into the Isold, triggering the Deltaros. Deltaros will then summon from the deck. We also have Isold on summon, chain link blocking it from being ashed. As we add from the deck a monster we cannot summon this turn. Lirin, that's fine, we already summoned it a bunch of times. Now, the Altair is going to be recycling that Deltaros summon from the deck effect as we further link this up into an Apollo USA triple monster negate. Deltaros trigger for the second time, summoning a Deneb. Deneb on summon, add an Anuk. As we then further exceed this up into a Gaga-Ga. Gaga-Ga usually goes into a UDF. So we're going to reborn and Xyz from the graveyard, which will be, again, the Deltaros effect for the third time. Maybe we're now going to Pendulum Shokan. Summon from the hand and or extra deck. We are summoning, what the heck, a Zephyra. When this card is Pendulum summoned, you could add a Yang Zing or Zephyr spell and trap from your deck to your hand. Okay. We have the All-Terrain also being reborn from the graveyard off of this summon. As we further link this up into a Masquerena. Deltaros the third time, summoning from the deck a Sirius. Shuffle 5 cards on the graveyard back of the deck, then draw 1. Okay, this better be leading into a first turn kill or something. This has been a very long turn. Morisaki, I'm very sorry that you're having to deal with this. We are now making a triple Xyz into Ptolemy. All right, we're going to Ptolemy equip. Now, let's see what we accomplished here. The Masquerena can link up during the opponent's turn into some sort of disruption. We have the Apollo USA with triple monster negate. The Ptolemy has the effect of you could detach 3 materials, summon from your extra deck a monster that's 1 rank higher than this card. And that 1 rank higher from this card is going to be a Durendal. Durendal will be a monster or spell and trap card negate. So almost a fully Omni negate. That's another disruption right there. And then we have the Zephyr Divine Strike. Spell trap monster effect activated. You're going to negate and destroy. We have 6 disruptions. Can we play through it all? Let's go. I don't think we have anything hiding in the graveyard that is disruptive. Water, equip on a monster, then spin it back. So what we want to do here is we want to protect our Apollo USA through our Constellar Diamond, not the Durendal. Okay, what does the Diamond even do? This states that while this card is a material, neither player could send cards from the deck to the graveyard. I guess the ceremony can't send from the deck to the grave now. Is that really a big deal? When an opponent's dark monster effect is activated, you can detach a material, negate the activation. So negate dark monsters. Okay. We are triggering the summon of All-Terran. All-Terran is actually the extra disruption I did not count in the equation here. This could target cards in the field up to the number of light and dark exceeds monsters you control, destroy them. But unfortunately, we have another Mikanko Water, and the hard once per turn part of this effect is the activation of the effect, not the activation of the card. Now, there's no way to get the All-Terran to pop it on the activation of the effect, so that is fine. Now, Ha-Ray, which is going to be negated and destroyed. But it can't be destroyed, but it can be negated. So protected by the Mikanko Water from being destroyed here. Now, we could target if we want to. We could go into a, ooh, you returned my Apollo. I resummoned Apollo. Okay, it makes sense. Libromancer Fire is attempting to special summon from the hand. I believe this is a hard once per turn effect. So once we negate it, we are good. No more activation for there. We will normal summon, but it only activates on special summon to add a Libromancer from your deck to your hand. It is 1800 attack, quite large for being a high schooler, very nice, and was big enough to take out the Apollo USA. We are Pendulum Shokaning the entire hand. Vega, Lyrin into also that beetle-looking thing. We now have Caduceus will recycle cards in the graveyard back to our hand. That's the back row popper, which we're going to be able to be using. Wait, did this stop you? What does this say? You can't... Any card that returns from the graveyard to the hand is banished instead. Oh my gosh, that's the other effect. We tried to add from the graveyard and our own effect banished it instead. Oops. What? That's the additional effect of the diamond. Interesting. You try to have that resolve in real life. That'll be a nice judge call there. We now have double Caduceus, 7,700 damage on the field. To battle we go, no battle damage taken on that first attack. Now, we don't have enough for lethal damage. So what are we doing for disruption? Wait, within the battle phase, we're going to Sky Bridge a monster from the deck by returning a Talonite back into the extra deck for our lethal damage. What a crazy duel. What the heck was that? Diamond, negate dark, diamond, the return from the graveyard back to the end game banished instead. I haven't really seen that effect be played out like that. Wow. Morisaki choosing to go first with his Mikanko deck. Okay. Metal Silver, we'll talk about what this card's doing at the end of the turn here. Ceremony sending from the deck to the grave, the Rondo. So we do have the quick effect of non-target take control of a monster. You target the equip, but then you don't target the monster to give them Rondo to then yoink it. Our whole field of monsters cannot be targeted by card effects, nor can the Mikanko Water. Now, the Metal Silver is quite interesting. It states that your opponent cannot use the effect of a spell, trap, or effect monster that targets a monster except targeting the untargetable monster. That means even your own effects that target your own monsters cannot be used. You have to target the Hugh Lee, and you're not allowed to target the Hugh Lee. So this could mess up a lot of decks where their core combo involves targeting their own monsters. Now, does Talonite really target their own monsters? I think we're gonna have to wait for that to actually come up. We have Rivalry, which could also negate a spell or a monster here. Let's see what happens. Searching with the motorbike, grabbing the Wakashi here. Activation of the card, do not respond. Activation of the effect. This is where we could Rivalry into the Angelic Ring. We chose to not do so, though. Okay, we're waiting. We used it to negate last time, but not this time. Reinforcing the army, grabbing our Lyrin, normal summon our Deneb, which will trigger the Lyrin. First, we're going to be using the Ohime in response to take control of a monster in the field. We don't know which one yet. Now, Lyrin states that it says on summon, right? If a Talonite's summoned, and this says if this card is summoned, you could add a Talonite spell. So we could take control of it before it triggers. And we did. So yoinking the Lyrin here. Thank you very much. And now we have the Zephyra Exciton, special summoning from our hand, the Talonite Zephyra Thubin, which will get poppin', which did trigger our Wind Pegasus. So what happened here is if another card you control is destroyed, you then could shuffle a card on the field back in the deck. We had to get rid of that Metal Silver, which was stopping us from targeting anything. We got our Caduceus. Caduceus will be able to recycle a card in the graveyard if we want to. Recycling our Xyz back into the extra deck. Looks like we're going to use Mikanko Rivalry to negate, because we want to negate the other effect of banishing from the deck a Constellar to copy its effect. Now, while it's negated, it is boosted up by that Axe of Fools to still make a Zeus? Zeusin? No. Rivalry being sent to the graveyard. We're going to be activating to recycle the Axe of Fool. No. Oh. I can't believe we just did that. The Diamond, again, second time in 2 duels. If a card that returns a card, if you return a card in the graveyard to the hand, it's banished instead. And what triggered the rivalry? If an equipped card is sent to the graveyard while this is in the graveyard, it then triggers to target an equipped card in your graveyard, any of them, return it to the hand, but it now just got banished. Ain't no way that just happened. Zeusing up the entire field. This is when the rivalry would activate to then recycle an equipped card back to our hand, and the Diamond would have not banished it. All right, let's go. That works in paper, though. Well, you would try to do that in paper. Then I go, actually, never mind, I didn't do that. You call a judge, and then the judge says what happened, and I then say, oh, the opponent's crazy. They think I activated an effect that I clearly did not because Diamond's on the field. He says, she says, and then you just got cheated. I would not be doing that, though. I Sold is here. Deltaros, trigger in the graveyard, come forth and summon. I do like in Master Duel that people are committed to their misclicks and misplays. Like, for example, something that would not happen in TCG is if you activate something with an illegal target. I go, I activate this to target your monster, and you go, you can't. You can only target your own monster. In TCG, you take the card back because it's an illegal activation. In Master Duel, you activate a card with an illegal target, it forces you to target the legal target that you did not want to target, and you are committed to that mistake. I do like that. We still have Zeus with a field wipe here. Very nice. And do we have that card in the graveyard that gets popping? We do not. Mikanko, water equipped onto the Zeus here. We're going to be using the Tellarknight Sky Bridge to return the Lyran to summon from the deck our Altaran. Altaran equal to the number of light and dark Xyz you control destroy cards on the field. So taking out the Mikanko water. Be gone. Diviner sending an extra deck monster to the graveyard, which will be our Herald of Arc Light, which will be activated to grab the Ohime. By the way, I'm not saying that I would have done that. I'm saying that's what someone else would have done. I don't think that's legal cheating. I think that's illegal cheating. And a lot of people call that soft cheating. And I think it's just cheating. That's cheating. That's not good. Do not do that. Wiping up the entire field, searching for Mikanko's Ceremony, discarding the Libromancer displaced. We haven't really been seeing much Libromancer plays here. It's mostly Mikanko. Interesting. I think we took out Infernoble and put in Libromancer, but I'm not convinced that that is the way to play it yet. We're going to use the Mikanko Dance, reborning the Ha-Ray. Ha-Ray activating because we equipped, grabbing the Mikanko Fire Dance. Fire Dance will then further reborn a monster from the graveyard, triggering the Hugh Lee. We could attack with all 3 monsters for 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 9,000 damage reflected onto the opponent. And just like that, we are taking this into game 3. How did you get in here? Medolce, Petting, Soar. Okay. We're going to Small World Bridge into the Zephyrath. Zephyrath is now here. We're going to use the Providence, adding a Zephyr card from our deck to our hand. I thought that this is where we would summon the Sirius to then shuffle 5 back in the deck, draw 1, but we're not doing that. Instead, we're summoning a Lyran. Okay. We are activating the Altaran to reborn from the grave. Lyran is also searching for a Tellarknight spell or trap. Got the Genesis, which is not... wow, it's actually quick play. I didn't know that. That is a quick play back row destruction. That could be quite good. Quick effect, number of other Tellarknight cards you control, pop back row on the field. And it's non-target. Non-target pop the equipped cards on the activation of their effect. That's going to be quite disruptive. Ptolemy is equipping. Now, what do we have here? Let me double check on how exactly this card gets triggered. The Altaran. The Altaran states that if a Tellarknight is special summoned to the field, This then special summons. This then gets the pop cards in the field. So that's 1 disruption into the Masquerena, into the Apollo negate. We then have pop back row cards with the Genesis. We have about 7-ish disruptions without counting the diamond that will potentially be summoned. So let's see, about 7 disruptions. Okay. You have Diviner activating a free negate with the Apollo USA mate. Negate. We're out of here. No way. Non-target, MST, multiple more negates, further linking off into some sort of disruption here. Damn, Morisaki, I appreciate you greatly. I was rooting for both of you. Both of your decks are crazy. They're amazing. Thank you to both of you for your duel and match. Let's hop in another one.